I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
Morning, Bronco. How are you?
Good. How we doing?
Good.
We got it all weird in here. See, I was just standing up on the table, taping lights shut to try to make it right. But now I'm in a dark corner, and you're kind of in the light, which
Listen, they came in
opposite.
here and they set us up. They're like, just do it Zoom, blah, blah, blah. You do it this way. They pulled lighting in here one day, and then everyone left us to our own devices. and we're not... We can talk about this stuff, but we don't know what we're doing with lighting or anything. You don't want either of us to light your home because his would look like some sort of like saw basement, and mine would have like one weird orange corner light and nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I was just listening. I was just watching that Shane Gillis special, Beautiful Dogs, and he talks about. I don't remember what he talks about. He talks about living with his girlfriend or something, and he goes, "She always comes in, turns on lights."
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I really like. I like all the red light stuff, and I want it to be dim.
Yeah. You know what? I think I mentioned it, but Coop's new house. You saw his lighting situation, right, in his basement.
Yeah, the one with like all the crazy lights and stuff.
Yeah, but he showed you what it does, or did Andy show you? Basically, he has an app, and he can say, "Let's go to Tokyo," and it'll light it like Tokyo, or he'll say, "Let's go to somewhere," and it will.
That's a bridge too far for me personally, but yeah,
But it's cool. It's cool because it's all connected, and it can be really ambient and nice. And our friend Loretta actually has her kitchen light. She has an app, and it can at night go through ambient lights and stuff and change from like a red to a purple to a blue or whatever.
You know what's funny that you brought that up is the other night Gia went into her room and she just goes, "Siri, office lights on." And I went,
"Wait, that's what it is."
I went, "What?" And she goes, "Siri, office lights on." And I was like, "I don't think we have whatever that is." And I was like, "Where did you hear that?" And she was like, "Cooper's house. He's got the. You just yell at it." And I was I was like, "We don't have that hooked up here."
That's exactly what it is.
I just like the idea of her walking to any room and yelling "office lights on" and it will work.
That's sick.
Yeah, I don't. For me, I like lamps. We have too many lamps actually. Mm-hmm. It's become an issue. There's like an area that's just lamps.
Hey,
I just keep getting them, and I like the options. I want lamps kind of everywhere so that you can. Yeah. I can change the height of the lighting. I can change the tone of the lighting. I like I like to set a mood.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. We don't even have overhead lights in our living room, so we have only lamps.
I've never turned them on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The other thing that. It's like when you have a kid, you have windows. And so the windows of time where you're free are like, they're a big deal. Because you spend all the other time cleaning and fixing and entertaining, all this stuff. So when you get this window, I like to be like, all right. It's usually after I do bath time and everything, and sometimes Abby will lay with her to help her fall asleep. During that time, I change all the lighting. I put on incense. I take a shower. I make sure it's all cleaned up. It's like, I just need everything to be nice for this next like 2-hour period before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So I can really set a tone. And this is really me taking my space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's me going hog wild.
Yeah.
So I do think it's important. So that's to say that we have not figured it out. Granted, we've made no advancements. Here's what's going to happen.
Yes, I was going to say.
We are going to, the problem is we are redoing our
studio racks,
our
space
racks
back,
and everything.
Yeah.
So we have to do that first. Then we're going to tear everything down in this room and reset it a bit. Mm-hmm. We'll paint it so that we get better like lighting.
Yeah, I think we're going to paint these walls separate.
Yeah. We'll decorate them so they look like
we get to have things back here.
Here's the thing: this was kind of operating as a podcast studio. So if we ever had people in here, or just for ease of coming in and out. This has always been like a room that was very stale. There's very little. I have a couple things hanging up over there, and then I think I have pictures from my daughter up there. So that's it, though. There's no other decorations. No. Oh, I guess you put the U-line.
I have the U-line bears.
There you go. If anyone wants
sleeping.
To see, let me really show people. Oh my God, it's all reversed.
That's crazy.
Can't do it. So there's basically a long table. There is the door that's all blocked off for sound. There's a board where we put notes when we have guests and stuff. Big TV for when we do buying, and then there is the. I don't know if I can. It's like backwards.
No, it's hard to.
It's like using a Counter-Strike mouse.
That's a free U-line.
Yeah, I have a picture of some bears up there.
I got nothing over here.
So yeah, I mean, there's just nothing in here because we basically started using this as a conference room so when we have meetings or when we do buying meetings
Yep.
or anything like that, I do it all in here. So then I just started working out of here, and I don't keep much on me. My stuff is I keep a pack of gum and some pens, and then whatever I'm using for the day that gets
And
packed
it's
up
neatly
for the day.
stacked, and
Yeah. It just helps me. Plus, when people come in and out, they bring a bunch of stuff, what I mean? So it's better to not have much in here. So for that reason, we've never fixed it in any single way. And it basically could be a weird dark room because we were never on video.
Yeah.
But now that we are, we gotta make it
build
look
it
a
out a
little
little
bit more like us. So maybe you guys, if you're in Discord or whatever, you just want to leave comments. How should we decorate? We're still workshopping.
Yeah.
You got any ideas so far for your background?
I want a poster or two.
Okay.
Or a print, something.
Okay.
I want it to be ideally the microphones glow part 2, the elephant. I want that framed and hanging right here behind me.
I suppose if it's not a poster, we could just get you the record, stick it up there.
Yeah, that probably would be even cooler. So that's likely what I'll do is do that. By the way, you know what? Let me talk about. We can get back to this. This can be a concept later in. Let's put this in the sand. We'll come back to it. But things that you passed up in your life that you wish you hadn't. You wish that you would either just spent the money on. We can ruminate. Let's come back to it later on in the conversation. But the microphones thing reminded me. But so we're going to yank everything out of here. We're going to redo these sound tiles, kind of put them up on this wall, paint these walls
It'll help to
opposite
not
colors.
be black behind us. Because that's it also. The other thing is, I use this, like I told you, I use the same area. So I'm getting on these high level meetings with Margiela
Brands
or
and
whatever.
shit, yeah.
And then they're always like, "Where are you?"
Whoa.
And I'm like, it's like a recording studio, and it's just like a whole. I have to explain it every single time.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
So I get a past lives poster. Maybe what else can I stick over there? I'm gonna bring my Scottie Pippen figurine in. Put him behind
hell yeah!
me.
Well, in that case, I have a still intact in plastic Tracy McGrady card from when he played for I think Orlando.
You know those are worthless, right? Because I have a bunch.
Oh, I don't.
Maybe
but I'm saying
that could be
it's
an episode
meaningful
where
to me.
I'll bring in my basketball cards.
Yeah.
Remember I told you I traded. I think I said this on the podcast where I traded up so I could get the Michael Jordan with ice packs on his knees trading
sick.
card. Because I thought it was funny.
That's so sick.
So maybe that'll go back there too.
Let's do it. Let's on the pod now that we have this. Let's one of these times because I've got my Pokemon cards. Let's just bring in any. Let's say for the first one, we don't have to do it all the time, but for the first one, let's just bring in basketball cards that we have that we think are cool because they're not valuable. So what the value they provide are that I think they're cool or you think they're cool.
Got the Olympic team, individual and together.
Sick.
So you got the whole Scott, Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, you
Michael
got Barkley,
Jordan,
right?
Barkley.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. It's cool.
Man, I love.
They are
Charles
not
Barkley.
worth. They're like $5 pop, maybe
Yeah.
20 in Michael Jordan case.
But $20 gets you a Chipotle burrito, a drink, and a couple bucks change. So would you rather have the T-Mac card or would
I'd
you
rather just have the card. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather just have the card, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck it,
Yeah.
So it's right now. It's on display on my window in my office with all my plants. Yeah. I have a little trinket. I have a little polar bear trinket I
feel
bought.
like you need a plant behind you for sure.
I do need, and you know what I might do is we'll see. I have that ZZ cutting. It doesn't mean anything to you, but I have that little cutting in that Wonder jar that has.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's still live, bro.
Yeah,
Put
you
a new
stick
leaf
that
in
thing
shit.
behind you, that little piece of trash thing.
So my mom and sister, I think, are going to come out in a couple weeks. So that'll be fun. They're just going to come stay at a hotel by us, just kick it for a weekend. You know what I mean? And the last time they were out, I had just taken a bunch of cuttings. I caught a wild hair, and I had taken a lot of dragon fruit cuttings, random. They look bad, is what I'm trying to say. So they were all little dead things.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean cuttings?
You can dragon fruit. You can literally cut the cactus, put it in soil, and it will root and form a new plant. Right?
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, but I had an unhealthy dragon fruit plant that I did. Long story short, I had probably a dozen little containers of mostly dead looking plants, right? And I was excited, and so I showed my mom them and this and that, and so she had said to Lainey now, because my sister got in a day later or something. She goes, "Now, honey, he's going to show you a lot of his plants, and you just have to act excited. You have to say they look nice."
Yeah.
So
I need her.
Thanks for looking out, Mom. But
I need her to give me a rundown before we get in a meeting together of listen, he's going to bring up something.
You just gotta just go with it. You know what I mean? So but I love that she was so gentle in telling my sister, honey, just act like they're cool, act surprised.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going to roll down my compost bin for your birthday.
We bought one at the old house.
Look at all
and we
these
never
cuttings.
Oh no,
That was a
composting
joke.
is silly, dude.
Where are we going with this? What do you mean?
Oh well, you mean I see. You mean like a city compost.
I'm gonna bring you my compost, and I'm gonna call it cuttings, and I'm gonna give it to you as a present.
yeah, that would be cool.
Remember when Michael gives Toby a brick?
Yeah.
So funny.
Who do you think you are?
I told him it was a bridge too far. All right, where are we at? What were we talking about? Oh, so what we're gonna put about? You got any other ideas for how you want to decorate? If anyone else, by the way, has ideas, please send them.
Or if you
to
have
us.
things you want to send to us, ship them out. I'll put it on display.
You
if
always
it's cool.
think people are gonna send you things.
Yeah, maybe. I'm still waiting for that Jimmy John's to show up one of these days.
Jimmy John's gold card.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think we got the Scottie Pippen thing. I think
Yeah.
I got the Michael Jordan with ice packs card back there.
So
Past
sick.
lives poster. What else could I put up there? Things I like.
We'll get you something spooky.
Yeah, maybe I get a little incense holder.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah.
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 Jason versus Freddy poster.
Yeah. You know what I want is that brand, which I'm not going to say the name of the brand in case we start carrying them, but that do those fruits that we were looking at the other day. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe one of those figs or something.
Okay.
They have a fig that's kind of split open that look pretty.
There you go.
So something like that. But
Some cool options.
anyway, brother, what'd you do this weekend?
What'd I do this weekend?
Yeah. So at the time we're recording this, it's Tuesday. This is coming out Thursday, but we're still going to talk about the weekend.
Yeah. Let me see. Saturday, I did my normal business. You know what I mean?
Because we didn't get together this weekend, right? This is the first weekend in months it feels like we
felt
didn't
like-
kick it.
Yeah, I guess on Friday we didn't. I feel like it's been like we do something on Friday, we do something on Saturday or Sunday, but it hasn't been. We didn't do that this weekend. We did. Wait, are we sure? Because I knew you had the golf thing on Saturday.
I golfed
right?
Saturday and Sunday. I didn't leave the house, so there's no way.
Yeah,
Friday, I don't think we did something.
we just went home.
Yeah, I think we just went home.
God, my memory's getting bad.
Yeah.
I didn't do much. We cleaned up the house, I think on Friday, and then the girls went and ran errands, and I
Nice.
sat in the sun. I'm trying to. I'm worried. I'm already worried about winter. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to come.
Interesting.
I don't want fall to come. I want it to be summer forever. I love it.
This summer has been. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do we feel like we're out of the dog days, or are they still yet to come? Because I feel like they came early this year.
Maybe, but I always still feel like, dude, it's hot until like end of October these days.
Somebody was just Chad or UPS driver. Somebody was just talking like, "Oh man, it ain't even September." I was like, you know what? I think it is hot in September here too.
Oh yeah.
So
So, but it doesn't, you just don't get it. I don't know. You kind of lose the intensity of it a little bit.
you lose
but,
the 101, the 99, the 98.
But I like those. I've really switched into like when people are like, I'm going outside, I'm dogging. I'm like, not me. I feel like $1,000,000 now. I don't know
Really?
what's happened. It's like my body must need vitamin D or something so bad, or like something is like really changed
That
in me.
you can just receive it.
Yeah, like where it's like I like it now.
Yeah.
Like my body doesn't get overheated. I'm not stressed about it. I don't know. Something's happened.
Interesting.
said.
And you guys have AC in the house, but you're not super concerned, yeah?
Yeah, but it's just like window AC because it's Colorado where they tell you you don't need it, and then everyone also like absolutely needs it.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's fine. It cools it down. You cool down fast. Go take a cold shower. It's no big deal.
I actually have been doing that. For the first time in my life, I will take a shower. It ain't cold, bro. I'm not a tech bro in the valley, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what
not
I mean?
doing any of that shit.
But it's, you know what? It probably is comparable to like if you left a glass of water out on the counter at room temperature.
temp, yeah.
But that's cold when you get in a shower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it feels good. I just
I
want
always
it to
just
be.
start like in the middle, and then I just will decrease till I'm uncomfortable, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm not.
But it feels good though. It feels
Yeah.
good. And I've actually started at night taking like a night shower sometimes, which I hate. I hate to shower at night. I don't know. Then you get into bed all wet, and also I hate showering.
Oh, why are you not drying yourself?
Well, I do, but my hair's still wet.
I know it doesn't take that. It's not like you have a mop on your damn head.
Not
You know what I
anymore,
mean? Like,
sometimes.
you just do it like an hour before bed. You'll be dry before the time you go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it works itself out. It really isn't that big of a deal. But I have been doing it sometimes. A cool shower at night, you know?
Yeah. I haven't been going to the gym right now because of the weird schedule we're keeping up until like in like one more week. So
'cause
I
Gigi-
haven't needed to do a morning one, but I like doing I like a night shower just to get the day off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I like go to the gym in the morning and then quick
Shower.
shower in the morning.
You shower there or you go home and shower?
It depends on what the schedule is either way.
Yeah,
I'll do either one. I don't care.
I feel you.
I don't care. I don't mind a public shower situation, to be honest with you. Doesn't really.
I've showered in public so infrequently, whether it's a gym shower or what have you, hardly ever.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
We did it so much through soccer and stuff. I don't care. I'll do it wherever. I like the water on me.
Yeah.
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 Who cares?
Yeah. We watched a video not long ago of like a soaking tub. You know, you buy like the big galvanized steel pools that you can add a filter to and just turn into like a cool soaking tub. Mm-hmm. I think I want to do that one of these days when we own a house.
Like switch out the. You need to have like a multiple bathroom situation, so you're not confined to only bath. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to do both.
Oh, I'm talking outdoor, dog.
Oh, you want
like an above ground pool.
Oh.
Like not a pool, but like it's enough you could sit in it. Think of like an oversized hot tub, but the water's not hot.
If it ain't, we just need to go into the ground. In my mind,
well,
it's got to go in the
buddy,
ground.
There's nothing more luxurious. You could pull up with 6 Lamborghinis, and if you have an above ground pool in your house, you're poor. So, like,
it's just a reality.
That is the pinnacle of wealth to me. Is a nicely maintained in-ground pool.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I know people like will do the like sauna in the deck situation. I think that's maybe okay. I don't know. I don't really care. I'd probably, once it was there, enjoy it, whatever it was, to be honest with you, because I just like being in water.
Yeah, but you can't kick off the sides if you're above ground.
See, I don't care about that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I will admit that I don't care about, like, I don't care about swimming around in it. I just like to be in water. I feel very comfortable in water.
Oh, totally agreed. I mean, it's like...
What element do you think you're most drawn to?
Water.
Yeah, me too.
As I've said before.
What kind of sign are you? Does that matter? We don't know anything about this, so this isn't really helpful.
I'm a Sagittarius, which I believe is fire sign, but I'm not sure how that compares. You know,
what's a Scorpio?
Scorpio, I think, is fire too.
Fire?
Yeah.
I don't really care about fire. I like it when it's hot.
I know nothing of it.
I'm like a desert
Scorpio
scenario.
or I'm a Sagittarius, Virgo, which that doesn't mean anything to me, but that's what it is.
You know what we should do is this can be an episode of the pod where we learn about this for the
well,
first
should we
time,
have a guest on that is
can
just
we find
learned?
Somebody?
Yeah. Hey, if you guys are listening and you've got a witchy best friend, you know,
okay.
Loretta might be good for this.
Hold on. We don't just need any old person.
But somebody
that
is
that's
learned.
Got a little. Stop saying learned. It's a learned doctor. I'm talking like someone that's got, give us like a little social media following. Give me somebody that's got some like credentials or
sure. And I'll tell you,
I don't think
the
get
time,
a PhD in that.
We'll find the minute we were born, the date, the city, and from that all this and that. You can find out.
I'm just saying I don't know. Like, because sometimes people ask you like at a party, they're like, "What sign are you?" Like, when were you born? I'm like, why would I fucking know that?
I know that. We asked my mom within the last couple of years, but I know that I was almost on the 15th, which would have been my cousin's birthday. Mm-hmm. He's a wild man, so I'm happy I'm on the 14th. But I was like 11:23 p.m. or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But we'll find that information. I'm sure your mom's listening right now. So when you hear this, Michelle, maybe you could let Brondo know when he was born, what time, and we'll have somebody on. But I would like to know. I just want to know, like, tell me about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's one of those things where you could say anything and I'd be like, that's pretty close. You know? Like, it's also ambiguous because you're so many different people in your lifetime and you've had so many good, bad, neutral experiences that any sort of string of words could fit to any individual person, more or less, I feel. But then sometimes you hear a thing and you're like, damn, dog, that's, you know?
I don't know anything anymore, man. You know what I mean? Like on this battlefield that we're on, I don't know.
Don't you feel that the older you get, you feel so less sure of how you feel about things?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like you asked me, what do you think about X at 21? Now, listen, I've still got strong opinions. But I think that I'm generally more open to things being kind of fucking whatever, dude. Like, every day that I'm alive, I know less about the general being.
100%, dude. Every year I get older, I'm like so much closer to like some random guy coming up to me and telling me about his religion. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. It's like, that actually put into perspective, that kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to church or anything, but there's times where something is put into a perspective for you and you're like, oh, I see it.
Yeah. Anything could be.
Depending on the lens. You could look at it through a moral lens, take the story out of it, and that lines up with this thought that you agree with or whatever. Anyway, point being is I got no clue, man.
I think I've always been a little bit like leaning towards like absurdism, and I think more and more I think that's pretty much my philosophical.
Give me a synopsis.
I mean, let me talk it in dumb terms.
That's what I mean. Yep.
Nothing is anything. Nothing. Everything is everything. It doesn't. There's no specific meaning or any. You know what I mean? Like it's not nihilism. It's just sort of like all of it could be true. None of it could be true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think it ultimately has any deep effect except for on the the person that's personally experiencing it. I don't.
Yeah. Just
kind of feel like I'm good with all of it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Life is so difficult on its own. Even if everything was great and easy for you, it's like so difficult that like, and so weird. Like it just keeps getting weirder the older you get. You know what I mean? Every year something happens and it's like, fuck man, I don't know. It's all fucking weird.
No,
you know?
I completely agree.
I don't think by like more deeply learning things that always really helps me all that much.
More questions.
Because I sort of like a little magical thinking in my life. You know what I mean? Like just a little bit. So to say that like there's like certain, I don't know. I guess that's the thing. I don't know, and I kind of don't want to know. I don't care.
I'm open.
It's irrelevant. I'm
open to taking in as much information as I can about whatever, but it does leave me more confused. So
yeah.
Anyway,
well,
it's interesting.
I don't think either of us should be weighing in on this.
But I think it's good though to be that honest at 31 and what are you, 34? 35?
35.
I think it's good to admit that we know less than we did last year.
100%.
You know?
And I think that here, I think it's just like what we talk about with like work, where it's like, I want to be embarrassed by everything. Not embarrassed necessarily isn't the right word, but like, I want to feel like I've made progress when I look back every single year. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if it's like good or bad. It's irrelevant. I just want to be able to go, you know, we kind of always do make the more of a joke thing about work, where you look back on past shoots or rollouts or this, that, and the other, and you go, oh man, what were we doing? We're so goofy. We just didn't know, you know, because that means we got better. It means we learned more. We kept, you know, I really value continued learning. Like we got better, but I want to be able to do that in my own life too. Just being like, I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like throughout my 20s, you think, you know, and I think that at that point in your life, you're so sure, you know, because you just kind of need to feel sure, but that's not.
It's a defense. It's just
a defense. Yeah. In that, like, nobody knows. And that's a hard pill to digest.
Yeah. Cause
you don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know what the world's supposed to do. You don't know beyond that you know what I mean? It's just, it's also beyond.
Cause like for some reason, the smartest people on the planet are like college kids. And I felt that way.
Sure.
And then you look back and you're like, dude, you're seriously so dumb.
Yeah. You have no perspective.
You have no fucking clue. Yeah. You haven't paid rent with your own real money. Yeah. You know, like, you know nothing. It's certainly if you go off to college, you know less.
I think it's why I've always been drawn to wanting to be older, because there's like a certain security, and it's like no wonder a lot of older people are much more settled down. Because I even think at 35, I already feel much more this way of like, I don't get so. I'm not out of the weeds by any stretch, but I don't get at the same kind of stressed anymore. I don't get the same like. You're able to kind of have enough perspective to be like, it all works out.
Listen, I've made it this far.
Things are gonna happen the way they're gonna happen. You realize how much is out of your control, and you get more okay with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think, you know, 20s and 30s is all about kind of like grabbing onto any control that you have left, and then as you get older, you're like, I don't really have any specific. You know what I mean? Once your like basic Maslow's needs are met, you're sort of like now I'm dealing with real stuff. Now I got to really deal with like. I have food and shelter and, you know, people that love me, and I'm good there. I'm solid. I have the groups that I need there are all solid. Even after you go through the rebirth of becoming 18 and being like, I'm on my own again. You know what I mean? And you have to go through all of that. So you kind of restart, I think, to a certain degree.
Yeah, for sure.
And then once you get it, you're like, now I have to like deal with heavy stuff. You know what I mean? And that's more difficult, but I don't worry about all the other things as much, because you realize how out of control you are of all those things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know. So that's why I've always like looked forward to getting older. And like that perspective, that like calm that comes from just like figuring that out or letting go a lot of the weird stuff.
I think that's it too, is letting go of like, you know what, that wasn't that important. Or I thought I needed that thing And
Yeah.
lo and behold, I didn't. Everybody was right, you know, or what have you. You know what I mean? Like financial security, I feel a little more financially secure, obviously, now than I did even 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. You get these things where it's like, okay, cool. I have a home to go back to. Like there are times where it's like, man, I want to buy a house. I want to do all these things, and I still want to do all that. You know what I mean? But then sometimes I'll sit there and be like, fuck, this is tight. If you asked me 2 years ago, how stoked would you be to have a garage or front yard, backyard, and to not share it? It'd be like, that'd be it. That was it. And now I have it, and I'm trying to just be grateful for that. You know what I mean? So.
And also, in 10 years, all the things that you want will be different than the things that you want now. You know what I mean? So who cares? So I don't even know what I will want then. So you want that now because you've got some idea of what it is. Yeah. And then but then that's the thing. That's what starts happening. It's like, okay, what if you get it and that's not what you wanted, or it didn't fill whatever hole you thought you were filling in.
Totally.
Now that's what I mean. Now you got to deal with the real stuff, and that's so it's like more complicated. But it's like you realize it's some of the more important stuff, and you start letting go of like. I'm trying my best. I mean, everyone I think is trying to like be more present in things, and I struggle with this. But when you look forward, you're like, it's this obsession. Like I think it's not that hope dies necessarily, you know what I mean? But like you start going like, I don't know that I care. It'll just happen to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like the things line up the way they line up. Abby's actually very good at this of like allowing things to just be as they are. If they work out, they work out. If this thing happens, or if you go and you have a good feeling about something, you just do it, you know, and you just kind of go off those like gut instincts. And that's pretty much always worked for us. So I cannot advance myself further. I can prep myself for making the best decisions, but the way to do that is be more in touch with who you are today. And then when you get to that moment, if you're present in there, you'll make the right decision because your gut will be kind of on and good to go.
Totally.
So, I'm trying to not worry about. I don't care.
And how often do you plan something 2 years in advance? Does it ever actually come to fruition?
It doesn't
in
happen
the way that you pictured
you
it.
Thought.
No. It might come to fruition in another way, but like, I close my eyes and think back, like, man, what is Canoe? What did I think Canoe Club felt like?
Sure.
5 years from being here for 2 years, which would be now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't even know, but I think it's better than I could have imagined. You know what I mean? Even at its highest. What we're doing is more fun and more fulfilling and better than I could have even imagined. And 5 years had elapsed. So anyway, on that note, would you guys ever be interested in doing like a yard sale with us? If we teamed up and did a yard sale?
You know what?
Because I'm thinking I want to get rid of shit more than anything. Like I need to reset. I have a lot of clutter.
What sucks is that we are in such a prime area to do it in Boulder. The problem is we don't have a front yard or a backyard. And I don't mean that we don't have them. They don't access any area where people would walk.
No, we could hang a bunch of signs and lead them into your alley, and then it could be in your garage.
They did it before, and it was kind of like yours would probably be better.
Yeah,
quite
out
frankly.
in Longmont.
If you can convince Abby to do it, it's none of my stuff, bro. All my stuff can fit into like a single box, dude.
You know,
so
we've talked about
Abby's, we got stuff. I mean, sure.
And like the thing is like I don't even know what we would all. I don't know. Let's just something to talk.
If you want to do
it,
I'm
just thinking about resetting. You know what I mean?
Did your family grow up doing yard sales?
Absolutely.
Where'd your video go?
Oops.
You unplugged it?
Yeah, let me plug it back in. Son of a bitch, dude. Sound will keep going, right?
Yeah, you have to probably turn it back on now. There he is.
All right, we're live.
Thank God.
Yeah, we did yard sales. I remember, it was often 2 houses down, my neighbor, and then our house. We would do yard sales together. You know what I mean? In the summer. And obviously my buddies' moms would have yard sales. I go over their house and kick it and help them with it. And, you get paid in fucking pizza for the day or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yard sales were very common. Garage sales, yard sales were very common. Did you guys do it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I want to say a lot, but I feel like we did them like maybe once or every other year or something like that. We would do it.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
They were kind of fun.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. And the thing is I can picture it now. You got a yard sale, which is really driveway sale. It's a driveway with some, tables from a church, typically. Mm-hmm. And it's got a bunch of shit. And then you've got like either like, it's like usually like the grandpa or something who's just like old as fuck in a wife beater watching baseball in the garage. You know what I mean? And he can't hear you or nothing, but he's in there.
in there
And that's typically what a garage sale
vibe,
looks like in Ohio, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm obviously picturing like an exact house and an exact family, but
Yeah, but I mean, I know what you can describe it to me, and I understand what that. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And I know I've said it before here, but I fucked up this year and I should have just done it. I wanted to turn the garage into a living room like people do and put down a net guard in the front and just sit out there and watch TV.
Did you ever get it cleaned out?
No, man.
So there's a few steps that need to take place.
I'm keeping it 100%. No,
So maybe
we didn't.
Coming Christmas 2025.
Yeah, the thing is, bro, it's the big objects. If we could just get rid of, there's two big objects, a mattress and a bed frame. If we could just get rid of those two things, that would be
Just
stellar.
call a place; they'll come get it.
Yeah, I know, dude. Listen,
Or we just have
I
the
know.
garage sale.
or we just have the garage.
Or we
sale.
do a whole garage sale about it.
Yeah, because it's like we could also haul shit out here and do it on the sidewalk in front of the stoop, but we'd get in trouble for
feels
that.
Optically strange too.
Yeah.
A bunch of our
All of
personal
our old
junk.
shit.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's
Shit
like
we
cool
don't want.
stuff. Yeah. No, this
Yeah.
is just some old books.
No, I mean, you guys can dig through and pick out some Beanie Babies. By the way, Gigi's birthday is coming up. I should pick out a couple Beanie Babies for her. Should have fun with that.
You're gonna peel off some from the retirement
Hey,
fund.
listen, they only be the ones with the bent tags, okay?
Yeah, not the ones with the plastic around. them.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of those,
Yeah.
and those
Well,
guys are here
you
to
gotta
stay.
retire, dude. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I think you might have missed your window. I mean, they did a whole movie about Beanie Babies. They've done everything they could to revive that, to try to recoup some of that investment. But I don't think
You got any?
no. If they would,
Here's
they'd
the
at my
thing.
parents' house, and that doesn't seem like something they would keep.
How many people you think still got them? Because I still got them, and Mishan still had them.
There's a surplus of people who saved them.
Yeah.
No question. There's a surplus.
And listen, I don't want to go down this road, but I can remember I was in Ohio. We were going through last time I went to Ohio, and we were going through, and I was like, motherfucker, we might have 30 grand here. So obviously that's not the case. It's obviously not the case. But I do have some
I
rarities.
think you could sell it as a lot for $800, maybe.
That would be sick. I would take
Then
that.
Just do that, man.
You
I
know?
think I don't think waiting is going to make the value go up.
Nah.
Nah. All right, what do you got? What do you got to talk about today?
Well, a couple things. One, yesterday you had recommended a show to me, and I just wanted to shout it out. Devs on Hulu. It's Nick
Yeah.
Offerman and some other individuals who I don't
Kind
know
of
their
an
names.
unusual recommendation from me. It's like I just knew it had like a cult following. It never got renewed. It had been on a list for a long time, and I haven't been in the mood for like a TV show in a while. You know what I mean? I've just been more watching movies, and I was in the mood for it, like that kind of thing. So it's like a sci-fi, techie kind of situation. So I gave it a whirl one night just because I was like, I cannot look for something, and that was like the thing on the list that was in the TV. And I was like, fine, I'll just do this finally, and it's really good. It's fun,
Dude,
Yeah.
it by the end of that first episode, I was like, I said this to you before, Paul, but I'll repeat it. Like, it makes me feel happy to know that there has been a show on a platform that I've scrolled through every single day for 4 years, so well over 1,200 times. Never once watched a trailer or started the show, but it's exactly what I want to watch. We're really enjoying it.
No, I still have that thing where, you think you've seen, like, I've seen a lot of movies and I keep up with it. And then sometimes I'm just like drained maybe, or just sort of like exhausted with stuff. And I'm like, man, I just haven't seen something that's really like knocked my socks off in a while. And then you'll watch something and be like, oh shit. Like, for example, I hadn't seen the movie Minari. It's an A24 movie that came out a while ago. It's one of their more kind of early-ish ones. I guess it's not that long ago, but and I just never saw it. Hadn't got around to it. I don't know what it was. And I knew a lot about the movie. I'd read a bunch about it and, seen trailers and clips and stuff.
What's
And
it like?
It's really good. It's about a Korean family that moves here to have a different life than, what they'd had when they moved to California, and they wanted to like move to a rural area and start a farm.
Where is it? Here in Colorado?
No.
Oh.
Why did you think it was Colorado?
Oh, you made it sound
guess
like
I
they
don't-
moved to California, didn't like California, so then they moved here.
No, they moved to like a rural part. They probably say
understand.
it. I don't remember
Sure,
where it was. It feels like Midwest. It might have been like Idaho or something like that. I forget. Maybe they do say, but yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's like a good family drama, but also like it's very like kind of one of those calmer movies to watch. I think you'd actually really like
Look,
it.
I just Googled it. It looks pretty.
Yeah, he's like he's starting this garden to grow Korean food to sell to Korean markets and stuff like that.
So cool.
but then they go through all the tribulations of living in an area like that, and it's really fantastic. I mean, obviously it was a great reviewed movie. It's been out for a long time, so I don't think I'm blowing anyone's mind here. But if anyone else was like me was waiting on it, it's really good.
worth
I
the
watched
watch.
it this weekend.
Yeah.
So, but I know what you mean. Like you'll see something like that and go, oh, cool. I'm kind of like restored in my I was getting like bummed, or I'm like everything's kind of like it's good but not great.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And then something like that, you'll find it and be like, oh, good. I'm so glad there's so much still to discover there, where it's not
man.
not a bunch of, not only just like, sometimes I feel like even with the movies I'm gathering up, it'll be like, man, a lot of this is really challenging. So it's going to be like a lot, like these are challenging movies. I want to watch them before I die, you know what I mean? But they're challenging movies. And it's like, oh, is it just those, or waiting for new stuff to come out? And then you hit on something like that. Like, oh shit, cool. You know what I mean? This is so great. Yeah.
It hits so hard. Obviously, this isn't giving anything away, but it's a lot of like, quantum things from my layman's perspective, which that's
as good as I can do here. Yeah.
My college roommate, Rye Dog, I'd known him forever. He was very, very, very bright, is very, very bright. Physicist. Went to school for physics.
A physicist named Rye Dog.
Rye Dog, dog boy. And he would try to explain to me some like quantum, ideas, It's well over my head, so I'm not going to, but I like that subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
I like things where it kind of challenges what other things that we might accept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In college, I had a class that really made an impact on me. It was my freshman year, called 7 Ideas That Shook the Universe. And it was one of the, you have to take it to graduate. There's X amount you have to take, and you can pick from a pool. And that was one of them.
One of those dumb things colleges do, where you take classes you do not need or will not apply for no reason.
No, but you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. Now,
but some of them are fun.
Some of them are fun. This one left an impact on me, and the professor in particular was very well spoken, and it was 7 ideas that happened in physics over time that made an impact on how we generally accept and view the universe and live our lives. You know what I mean? And that hit me, and I was like, I want to get into physics, and I realized how much mathematics was involved, and I was like, that's obviously not for me.
Yeah,
I will observe it. I will be a happy observer. But that struck for me. There was a couple little nuggets that I was like, I can't fucking believe that here I am reading some stupid book I don't care about, but then these things are also true in the world and I hadn't learned them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, the subject matter is perfect. I love it. Nick Offerman is great. It's interesting when your first exposure to him is Parks and Rec,
Sure.
And then like he has such breadth and depth to what he can do.
Yeah, he's cool. I think I was telling you, he's like a classically trained actor. It's just a matter of like, he got into comedy through improv and stuff, from what I understand, and then you kind of end up in that world, and then it's like hard to break out after that. But because
you get known for that one thing. He's known for loving bacon and eggs and being like, quote unquote, like the patriarch. You know what I mean?
It's like when, I think we've talked about this before, but we're trying to watch John Krasinski in that one show where he's like a spy or something, and you're like, okay, come on.
Come on.
We gotta look at your.
I saw you with this swoopy hair, brother. Get out.
Yeah,
get out
we know what your head looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can get fit as you want, but your head looks the same.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just you can't take it seriously. So it's like a hard thing to break out of. But I think he's good. He's a very patient actor. He's good.
Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, really good. So I would recommend that show to anybody if you're out there and you like things like it has. Did you ever watch that show Dark, that German show?
You know what? It's one that is I missed the boat on it, and then I just haven't gone back.
I've watched it all the way through season 2 one time, and then when we had COVID 2 winters ago, we watched it all the way through season 2 a second time. Third season comes around and it loses me just because of the progression of what happens. It's just like I should go back and finish it, and we probably will go back and finish it. But has a similar feel to Dark. So if Dark piqued your interest, it has a similar vibe. It has a similar vibe to Lost in a way, where it's like, actually no, I take that back. It's closer to Severance. It's closer to Silo.
Sure. Yeah.
Where it's a world. That's it. It's a world that there's so many questions about it, and I just want to know. I'll stick around as long as I have to figure out what's going on in the world. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good. It's a fun one. Yeah. I understand why people are like culty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really enjoying it. Other than that, let's talk back on that subject that I had, because I'm sure you have something good. What are some things that maybe you had the opportunity to purchase, for one reason or another, you passed on it, and you think about it. There's one glaringly obvious thing for myself.
Okay, go ahead.
And I don't feel that strongly about things. I like the things I have, but if I don't get them, it's also totally fine. You know what I mean? Because I'll forget about it and another thing will come up. But probably 2-3 years ago in pandemic, Phil Everham put out the Microphones, that box set. It was like every record and written lyrics and photos that he had taken. And it was like, it was only like $200 or something, dude.
Yeah.
And it was 40 pounds. So it took like a month for him to ship them all. It was like a big deal. I think some of the Discord guys even go on it. That will remain forever as just like, I should have just fucking spent the money or put it on a credit card. Like, that's one of those things where I do regret not having it. And that would have meant the world to me. Like, that would have been the singular item to fully encapsulate my love of that style of music or that vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, actually, on that same tip, I don't have the, and anyone who knows this will know what I'm talking about, the Best Show box set.
Oh.
From the old, like, and the thing is, like, I followed that show from when I was pretty young, and then I fell off for a little while because it's just it's a hard thing to keep up with because they're really long episodes.
Well, this was podcast before podcast, right?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a radio show, and then it became a podcast.
Forgive me, it's Mark Maron?
No.
What's Mark
Tom
Maron's
Sharpling,
show?
WTF.
Okay, but also a long-running show, correct?
Yeah. And
but
I was
the best show is
on
Tom
that
Sharpling.
one, yeah, I've always loved like radio and a lot of radio guys like that. Some of them made the transition. A lot of them because of Mark Maron, quite frankly. So it's so like the same thing with like Jordan Jesse Go, friend of the pod. That was a radio show that I used to listen to that some friends had put me onto that were into comedy, and then that became a podcast. So there was like early transitions. So anyway, they had put out a box set with like, you know, like pieces of the phone that he smashed during one of the calls from early. And the thing is, I fell off around the time when they were doing this whole thing, and I just didn't hear about it. I mean, I just wasn't listening for a little while.
Yeah.
Just got busy, kind of fell behind, knew I needed to catch up. So for like a year, I just wasn't really listening. So I didn't know it even happened.
Give me a timeline. Was this living in Colorado? Or
I know I was in
this...
Chicago.
Okay.
It was like early Chicago. And then I got back into it, and they were doing live shows and stuff, and everyone was talking about the box. I'm like, I don't know how I missed that. And they don't make it anymore. And it's like, man, motherfucker, I should have gotten that. I would have loved to have.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was like the wrong place, wrong time. Also, one time, Abby was at a place and they had have you ever seen like the mid-century fireplaces that kind of look like this? They go up. They're easy to find. I can't. They've got.
Is
a
it
name.
brick? You're saying typically?
No.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I got you.
So
Sure.
there was one of those for like, it was like in pristine condition. It was like, it had the like books with it and stuff, you know, and they go for a decent amount of money in good shape. Yeah. And this was like one of those things. It was like this vintage store we went to around the corner a lot. He had one, he was selling it for like nothing. And Abby just came home and was like, hey, would you want to get this? And I was like, holy shit, how much did he want for it? And she told me, I think it was like nothing. And I was like, we got to go get it right now. We went back there and it had already sold. And it was like, oh man, should have just fucking grabbed it.
Logistically, let me ask you a question. Would this be an interior piece?
A lot of people just put them inside because they look pretty. You know what I mean? Don't
because for it
hook
to
'em up
function,
and
you
stuff.
need to like drill a hole in your roof.
Technically, there's
stuff,
ways
right?
there's ways around some of that.
ventilate
But yeah,
it?
but yes, yeah. It was more just a show, but we should have had it.
Yeah,
We should have gotten it. It's a
how
bummer.
cool, you know
think
what I
about
mean?
How we just missed out on it completely.
Yeah.
We would have just used it. I don't think. I mean, maybe we would have resold it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those
So
kind of
that's
things are
one.
cool. Yeah. On that tip, bro, I wish I would have bought. I found, you know, that Panther lamp that I'm always pining over at your house.
If you want one like that, I can get you one, no problem. Just set your budget and tell me what you'd ideally like it to
there was
look
one for $34. We saw
that
two
sounds
of
about
them.
right. I can get you one for $30.
Great.
Just
Well,
depends on the
next time
one.
you see one, can you just cop it and I'll pay you whatever it costs?
Well, there's a lot of. We can talk about this later, but there's a lot of different variations of those.
I like the one that you have where the light comes out the back of the Panther.
Okay, so you don't want it to just light the behind the Panther. You know what I mean? You want the like a light coming out of it.
Yeah. Both.
Okay.
Doesn't it do both?
No, mine is just the one I have. I have a smaller one. I sold my other one because I got it for really cheap and they were worth more.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard to find a place for, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Those are worth a little bit more. They're more. I think they're called a TV lamp. I think they go on top of your TV and they're supposed to. They light behind it rather than on top, so it doesn't mess things up.
Back in the day when TVs had some breadth.
I think that's what they're called.
Oh no, I see what you're saying. No, I want the Panther that has the lamp on top.
Okay, I can definitely find you one.
Yeah,
for that.
sweet.
It's not a problem at all. Just depends on like what age and stuff. But if
Yeah,
you
I
don't care,
I
then,
don't care.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that I used to work for. Actually, I used to work for a place that I won't name, but I did a lot of different things for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were a fashion company. They were like a retail store. They'd been there a long time. They did a lot of like higher end stuff, and I used to resell for them things before that was like really a thing. Like Rail didn't exist, all that. It was just eBay.
Yeah.
And it was harder to find. I would do it in forums too a lot and stuff like this. So I could move things pretty quickly compared to most people.
Yeah.
Plus, I had a really high eBay rating and all this shit. So it's just the thing I would do for places now and then to make money. And I did it for them and got in with them. And then they were like my only client doing that. And there was so much because they had boxes of stuff throughout the years that they just didn't liquidate and weren't sure what to do with. There wasn't like obvious liquidation channels. They were like older guys. They didn't keep up with like some of the modern stuff that had like become like you could use an affiliate seller or something, they weren't doing this. They're just boxing up stuff that went through like 80% off sales and sample sales, and they just boxed up and put it into place. And they were like, I have all this stuff, but you want to try to go through it. And I would like go through, and they rented this office across the street. There was nothing in it. And I would go in there. It was a really cool office too, actually. It was just close to them, and I think they were just like, that'll work. And they were keeping like extra stuff there. So I was putting all that stuff into there, and then organizing it by like brand, year, blah 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 blah. And it took forever. And I just had these piles. This big thing. Imagine a big empty apartment that I had piles of like, here's all this vintage Moschino, Issey Miyake. I mean, you kind of name it, like older designers, Comme des Garçons, things like this. And it was like all these really cool pieces. And I just never, they would have all been steeply discounted. And I just never bought any of them. I don't know if it was like just not my style at the time exactly.
Well, let's think.
And I wasn't
back
just
then,
collecting either.
It would have been more jeans, boots,
Made in
era.
US.
Yeah, made in
trend
USA
stuff,
shit. Yeah.
But it was like, I would see things I kind of liked, and I don't know. I don't know if it was just like not my priority at the time, and I'm not really much of a collector, so I don't know. I just never. There's like pieces that I think about there. They're like, I sold one time for a guy a wait, have I told the me walking around Chicago with it's like $75,000 on me?
I think you maybe briefly did. You're sweating bullets. It was in your pocket.
I don't know if I told it or not. I guess I'll just tell it again, and if people don't like it, I don't care. I one time I was selling this, like I worked with this private client.
Yeah.
Through this other place. I worked with this private client. He's like an older dude. He had this is a guy who had seen the cool side of Chicago a long time ago. You know what I mean? But he was I think he was very private and would never have let on to me because he wanted me to think he was amazing. But I think he was sick, and so he was getting rid of a lot of things, and he was selling them, to pay for medical bills and things like this. It was kind of a bummer. But he had this beautiful this is from early Chrome Hearts days, you know what I mean, early,
before
it had any hype at all. And he had a Rolex that he had custom made. I don't know the owner's name and stuff, but this was by the owners. They had custom made this Rolex into a Chrome Hearts piece.
Bust down.
But just remember, this is way before this thing was popular. So Chrome Hearts wasn't as expensive as it is now. It was also not as sought after, so it's a little harder to find a market. But I knew a circle of people who were interested in buying this stuff. So he gave it to me. I listed it on this forum where I knew Chrome Hearts people hung out. I told him, I was like, I can't ship this. It's too expensive. We'd have to really go through all these things. So I was like, I got to sell it in person. It's in Chicago. This kid came down from Canada to buy it. This is too low for what it is now, but we sold it for $75,000. Mm-hmm. The kid shows up. I expected a check or we'd, PayPal or something. He just gives me $75,000 in cash. He has it in cash. And I'm like, oh fuck. So we go to my weird office that I was telling you about. He meets me there. It's also a weird office. You have to get in through the back, through an alley, through an elevator. So it's also probably weird for him too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We also went through all this stuff. His friend was with him. They were checking because I was like, I don't have a box or anything. This was a custom piece. All I have is the receipt. I have the receipt from Chrome Hearts. That's all I have. You know what I mean? And it's basically just custom work, X amount of money. So I showed him to me. He agrees. He gives it to me. So so I have to get from to this one. I have to go 8 blocks to the nearest bank to get this deposited. And also, just to be clear, if you have $75,000 in cash, it's not that easy, and I did not know that.
To just put it in a bank.
And I'm putting it in my bank, and I'm also now worried there's fucking taxes and stuff, but I'm not taking any of this money. Like, and I worked this out. I this was a business for me, so it's all squared away.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the statute of limitations, but this is far enough away. But I had to get it into a bank so I could pay this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he did not want cash. Nobody wants $75,000 in cash, really. So
yeah, I do.
couldn't get it into, trust me, it's like difficult to deal with. So I had to go to like 2 different banks. I'm just holding so much cash on me. First one, I get it there. They're like, well, we can take some, but you're going to need to go to this other place and you'll need to schedule it with them. So I now need to get some of it in, some of it home. I'm just sweating bullets, bro. I mean, I have it wrapped up and then shoved into my pants and then my shirt and jacket over the top of it so no one can see that I have anything. I'm looking more. I'm sure if anyone saw me, they're like, well, he's got something on him because
he's on something.
He's looking crazy.
Yeah,
because I was just like so concerned that I was gonna get robbed because it's out of my possession.
Well, and let's be clear, you're in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm like younger,
and
the area that's the closest is not. Basically, there's an area between it where you can get on the red line. Mm-hmm. That's dicey.
Are you in the loop at this point still?
No, I'm still like I'm like downtown,
a little adjacent. North of that. Then
yeah. But it's still. I mean, it's it's a popular area,
bro. Yeah.
So anyway, I get there. I get the money deposited over time, but it was like massive pain in the ass. It was like the most scared I've ever been in Chicago. I was certain someone was gonna rob me. Like it was like that's the day someone's gonna fuck with me. You know what I mean? The other days that they did, I legitimately had nothing. I'm like, you can do whatever you want, but this holdup is not gonna last very long because I
take this can of soup I got in my
pack of cigarettes and a lighter. You can have those things if you want.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't carry cash. Nothing else is worth anything.
Yeah.
If you take the phone, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up and all. Anyway, so that was bad. Anyway, so there would be all this stuff. And I just never bought any of it. And the same guy sold me a vintage YSL, like Chesterfield style, like long jacket that had been tailored by Yves Saint Laurent. Like he had the signature on it. I told him I couldn't sell it. I said, I don't know who to sell this to. I don't know how to move it for you.
Yeah.
Because this is like an archive piece and this needs to go to the right place to get the money you're going to want to get
museum,
for it.
To be honest.
So I I did some work for him and I found somebody who like dealt with stuff like that. And then
like high end archival museum
because I was
pieces.
like, what this should be worth is only going to be worth it to a very specific person, and that person ain't shopping on eBay. I don't think.
No.
So it's like it had to go.
They're
to
probably shopping through a person, and
but it was. I mean, it's wild to see like he'd kept this stuff. I don't know who he got it from. Like, he was a pretty old guy, and he'd got it from like his mother's father or something like that. Something wild like that. But it was pretty cool to see.
God,
I mean, the fact that the only thing on the inside was a little hand sewn in thing that said Yves Saint Laurent, like it looked like somebody had embroidered it. It's pretty wild.
Damn.
Yeah.
So sick.
Okay, let me put it on. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did some cool stuff. There was a lot of stuff through at that I'd be like, man, I should have just up. Like look. There's all these great old pieces. I mean, even just as an investment, I probably should have bought it and resold it because of like what that became. But like, it's just kind of like important to remember. Like at that time, that market was so different. If you weren't in, I mean, Chicago a little bit, but New York or LA or Paris, Milan, somewhere where they valued fashion like that, you couldn't really like just buy and sell pieces.
Paris.
That's why
vintage
used to be able to come up on stuff because people didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I'm saying, if you have that jacket, other than pass it down, and if this guy didn't have anyone, unfortunately, to pass it down to, who does that go to?
Well, like you said, he's not fucking around on eBay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that person that's going to pay the right amount of money
is not on eBay. They're going through a broker.
Especially then. Maybe now there is people on there that are looking for, I mean, people buy Rolexes and stuff on there. I don't think it's like unheard of. But it was different. I mean, and it doesn't seem that long ago, but like 15 years ago or so, that was different. Like the way that whole secondhand market for clothing operated and how people valued it. Because there was nobody that knew like what that stuff was back then. No. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there were so few. And now
in Chicago, there were probably 24 people that have understood the gravity of some of those pieces.
Yeah.
24 people total in the whole city.
Yeah, and like there wasn't these kids. I mean, there was like a small group of people that I'd met in Chicago that were kids who were into like, archival fashion that were like, into all that old
like
stuff.
RAF and shit, yeah.
But that was like you were in deep forums. Like the ones that they were on were custom built by one kid, and he only allowed so many people.
Yeah, there's like 20 kids in there. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's the only. So luckily, because I'd kind of infiltrated some of those things, that's how I was selling some of the shit I was selling really well at the time. It was like a gold mine at the time. It's how I subsidized. It's like how I made money in Chicago.
Do you by any chance remember like what the hosting platform was? Because there was a Cleveland hardcore board on World Goo.
Oh, no, that doesn't sound familiar. But I mean, there was a lot of stuff like that.
You know what I mean?
There'd be like one guy I knew would be like, here, I can put you onto this one. This is the one my friend started. Let me just see if I can get
It's just
you an invite.
HTML code and shit, just very basic. Yeah, CSS.
Yeah, so it's like there's like stuff from there that I think about a lot where I'm like, fuck, I should have bought this or I should have just bought that just to have it. There's like this great Comme des Garçons jacket that I didn't buy that I now see for like $2,000, $2,500 online. It's this cool old anorak, and it's like shit. Or I should have just kept it, or I should have taken pictures of it and at least like started an archive vintage page or something. I mean, there's just so much good. I mean, some of that old Moschino is so cool. So, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything with it. I just put it in piles and then sold it loosely on eBay.
Yeah.
And then brought a guy a check.
Well, so be it.
Yeah. But it was kind of a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
I'd actually kill to do that again now, but it was also like a lot of work.
Well, yeah, because you still do it here and there. Not so much anymore. I would say you probably stopped in the last
I've pretty
2
much
years.
stopped, yeah.
But it was still regular for people to be like, hey, I'm going to send you a box of shit, and you put it on eBay.
I have emails in my inbox right now of people asking me to do it, and it's like I just haven't responded, or I have to be like, I just don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, man, it's okay to say no.
Yeah. I like, you know me, I like to do it though for some reason.
Well, there's also the voyeuristic aspect that is perfect for you, where you get to look into somebody's life so specifically, like, oh, look at all these clothes this person had.
It's also just not as like, there used to be a reason that I did it for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you should do it yourself would be my advice. And the other thing is, if you can do it, like you can find a place like our Discord or something like that to sell your shit where you're not paying the insane fees every service I know of charges. It's a pain. You're paying a lot for eyes now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't have to do that back in the day.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Selling stuff in our Discord.
And I don't keep on all the forums and shit anymore either. So I don't know. They've all divided up. They're probably Discords and Instagram DMs, you know, group.
Yeah,
DMs, group
I
texts
know.
and shit. I don't know how to infiltrate that stuff now. It got too deep.
One of the fellows in our Discord was an old Bridge 9 dude, and I know he still keeps in touch with all those people, but I'm not sure through what platform or.
I can't remember what a lot of these were. I know the right person to text about this and ask, but I don't know what they were.
Old internet shit, man.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it's too bad because it was more fun to do it then. You made more money. It felt more worth it. Now it just feels like so. I don't know. Selling online kind of sucks. Like on all the eBay and Grailed and all that. It's not what it used to be.
I would give my shit away to a snot-nosed 17-year-old kid here in town before I give Grailed 60% of the fucking fee and have to deal with kids who buy and sell shit on Grailed. So
it's like there's an amount of money and type of stuff where I'll still do it. You know what I mean?
You would never do Grailed though.
It's every once in a blue moon, it's worth it there because the person there knows what the value is more than like an eBay customer does. So sometimes it's worth it, but I prefer eBay just because but that's just because I'm old.
eBay is better. eBay is better. I just want to underline. I would never use Grailed. There's this whole mentality
now on Grailed of like everyone's lowballing each other and trying to frustrate you into just selling. And
it's ridiculous.
This kind of shit. So it feels like it's a lot of like bullshitting back and forth just to be like. We could have just negotiated, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but
I'm
now
just
to spite you, I'll either keep the item or give it away.
Yeah, it's a lot of that kind of dancing around. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's too many. And then people are like, you're not responding to my message. You're not responding to my message. You're not responding to my message. And I'm like, and I'll respond because I've told you before I use it as a open forum to act bad. I'll just be like, I'm never going to respond to it. I'm not even going to sell it. If you buy it, I will cancel it.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, then you're not going to sell it. I'm like, I don't care.
Good.
I'll throw it in the trash, dude.
Good. To spite you.
Yeah. There's an amount of money now that I will. Spite would be worth paying for.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Fuck you, girl.
So it's like it's just got a bad. It's not the platform's fault. The user's fault. You know what I mean? Like
but the fees are so high now, bro. Like it was not even feasible. What's the point? Honestly, give it away.
What I'm saying is the cost for eyes nowadays is just more expensive. You know what I mean? Like they're paying more, we're paying more. Everyone pays more for
Amazon
eyes than
model.
they used to.
Lower fees, more people sell on your platform, you make more money.
Yeah, so it's a bigger problem than any one. I can't just be like it's Grailed's fault. It's not it's the user's fault for acting like fucking idiots.
It's the internet's fault, man.
Yeah, and it's people acting bad to each other that's the real problem. You know what I mean? If everyone was just like there's a fair market for this and we're going to find the fair market for it and that's how we will do this and then I will pay a reasonable fee that doesn't change nonstop and that's how we'll do things and it would be so much better, but it's not. It's like how every single thing is how much can I juice out of anything, no matter what side of the fence I'm on.
Yeah,
and I just think that mentality ends up kind of for like an ugly system. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of that, which is a bummer because it used to be a little bit more free flowing.
Well, hey, we found the fix. The Canoe Club Discord is a place to buy, sell, trade. So
Yeah, truly. I mean, I don't know how much longer we would continue to promote that, because it's almost better for it to be sort of a side, quiet thing.
Yeah.
But at this size right now,
It's been said.
You should still get in there. It's good. It's a solid. It's more just people like being fair, and you go back and forth. You don't pay all the fees. You do. You just work it out amongst yourselves.
Yep.
It's better that way.
Yeah, it's great. And the amount of times that like somebody's bought something and be like, hey, just catch and release I bought this from this person. I'm selling it for what I paid. It doesn't fit me. Like, it's good. It's a good community.
That's what I mean. It's more.
Yeah.
But that's a reason. First of all, that's due to the users respecting each other
Yes.
and treating each other like humans, because they all know each other.
Yeah.
And then just going, I'm asking you for what I believe is fair. If you've got an offer that you think is fair too, we can discuss that. It's reasonable. You know what I mean? And I so much prefer when people are just being reasonable and not it always
completely
feeling
agree.
like, man, can we just cut through the bullshit and figure out like, you know what I mean? So even when they start to ask me questions and I'm like, can you just tell me what you want to pay for this and I'll see if it works for me? It's that easy. It's like we don't need to be friends. It's just easier that way.
I agree.
But like you said, internet ruins things.
Yeah, so be it.
All right, what do we got? You want to do suggestions? You got anything else? We should do a deliveries thing.
Let's go over what we got in store now, what we may or may not have on the way. Let me pull up Inbound, in fact, while we're doing this so I can be very accurate. Since you've heard from Timothy and I, which I know there's an episode out today, which you're not hearing because this comes out on Thursday. All right, we have Taiga Takahashi has landed. It is received. It is in store.
Going quickly, though.
And it's online, yes? Mm-hmm. It's online. I'll do a big plug today for all that. It's beautiful stuff. The first day it came in, I believe, sold a couple denim jackets, sold a shirt. Shout out my boy. His initials are TT. He's a customer of Canoe Club. I'd never met him in person, but he came in on Friday and we got to chop it up. So we found out we're very much so the same person. He also had a bowling phase. He's in a golfing phase, etc. But wanted to shout him out because he came in specifically to buy the Taiga Takahashi stuff. So the TT stuff has landed. It is as beautiful as we have talked about it being. It is up to snuff. You're not going to be disappointed. Hop on, go check it out. We shot it on a model yesterday. It looked great on him. It's really cool.
Like we said, it's sort of like it's a brand that really like walks the walk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some brands say they'll do something and they do some of it, it's like that kind of energy, but like it's really cool. Taiga Takahashi is everything that we've built. It's much like Coddle in that way, where Coddle is one where it's like they're legitimately doing all the crazy detail shit that you know what I mean? There's a reason it's that expensive. There is no markup because of the name, in my opinion. It is because of what it is.
Yes.
And that's very much how Taiga Takahashi feels.
Yep.
Like TT feels very much like all the level of detail is like you pick it up and you're like, I get it. I totally get it. So
yep.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Absolutely.
And this is only
so.
first delivery too, keep in mind. So there's more coming.
Just a small. It's probably a little bit less than half, right? Ish.
Yeah, I'd say.
And
so.
then the next one's
40%
a
or
little,
something.
next season a little bigger. So, all right, Apartamento magazines have landed. Those should be online, I think, today as well. Hop on and check those out. There's some fun issues. There's a couple cookbooks. There's a photography book, a design book, a book about how to arrange things in your home so that it's visually appealing to your body and to your eye. Obviously, the standard interiors that we've come to know and love. I want to shout out I believe it's the Berlin living rooms one. I bought that at the Bodega in New York with the Bodega cat, over by the fried chicken restaurant we went to. And it's just cool. It's cool to look into. I've always hated interior, because it feels so unattainable. Because one, you have to own the home, and then you have to have all this money to have, uncomfortable couches that cost $10,000, and it's always highlighted and shown. Like the things that are shown in interior shots, or at least what from the media I've consumed, is like nobody lives in that space, dude. Like.
Sure. It's staged. It doesn't mean that somebody doesn't. It's that it's staged, and so
but
somebody comes in and stage
like
it.
It's lived.
They bring in staged furniture. I was just listening to a podcast where a guy was in Architectural Digest recently, and they were he's talking about. He's like, oh, we didn't live there for that week. Like he's like, they took stuff out, they put stuff in, they sorted it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Doesn't
not
that
the
take
space.
away the magic?
It does
though?
for me, yeah, for sure.
Same. So
and the opposite though goes for all these great things that number one, Apartamento has really great taste. Personally, they highlight great designers. So we have books from great designers, and then we have books from just them kind of focusing on specific, hyper specific, like regional architecture, things like this.
Yeah.
They've got a really cool, fun approach to food that's a little messier and more real. And I really like all the cookbook things they do. It started with the magazine for me a long time ago when that first popped off. And obviously I love all these publications, these like more hardbound publications like what we're selling. But yeah, they take this like really unique approach of like, it's a space that is 100% lived in. It's how the people are actually living. And I don't know, for me, I find it a lot more inspiring. I've told you before,
Agreed.
as much as like, I think my natural instinct is towards like minimalistic stuff just because I don't like to have a lot of things because I like to value what I have. But at the same time, like I don't really love that in a space. I love a space to be. I think we've talked about this maybe even on the last pod, but
Yeah, we did.
really lived in. You know what I mean? And they do such a good job at really highlighting that. Like you see the pack of cigarettes sitting there with,
I was just
with
gonna
an
say,
ashtray. You see, the messiness. You see clothes on the floor. It makes it feel so real. And
Yeah. Like the Tokyo Style one. That's what you're referencing. The cover
Sure.
of Tokyo
Yeah.
Style. It has the individual's bed. There is a corded home phone dragged across the floor next to the bed. There's a lamp. There's a laptop, it looked like. A guitar is sitting there. And then on the coffee table, kind of at the front of the photo, is cigarettes, lighter, ashtray, couple little 1-2s, this and that. There's posters on the wall, clothes drying on the side. The wall's even kind of fucked up in one of the areas. It just feels so
very
legitimate,
human,
and it's so
and
cool.
If you care about style or ever want to discuss style, I think this is actually a good place to start. And that you see like that a dead space on its own there's no style to it in my personal opinion. Maybe you can, if you're an artist and you want to put it together and look, this is the most beautiful like way to lay this out. This is beautiful furniture in a beautiful space. I get it. You know what I mean? There's great, I wish I could shout it out right now. I'll remember to figure this out. I think it's called, is it called like Open Diaries or Open Interiors or something like that? Great YouTube channel where they take tours of people's personal, like, classically designed architecture, homes and stuff like that. And it's so beautiful and it's all perfect and laid out. And I get it. You want the space to like speak for itself. It has its own personality because it was meant to.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, style is everything that's not that. Is like taking a little square room and making it your own, and then you go, man, that's fucking style. Like it's so
That's
beautiful
style.
you made it you, and it's like it's about the person, not the things in it. And these books are much more about like the person who lives there, without the person being in the photographs necessarily.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So you really see it's like a very human approach to kind of like looking at interiors, which I think is cool.
Yep. The most human, most real way to look at it. I think it's a Paris edition we used to have, and like just in the bathroom is like a shelf, and it has every single toiletry just out. Like they didn't have a medicine cabinet or nothing, and I just thought that was so cool. And they didn't. It's clearly they used it that morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that's so cool. So Apartamento has restocked in a big way, both interiors and beyond. So you should definitely check that out. Le Maire is online. We talked about that. HealthNet is also online. Been getting some love. Also shot that on a couple models throughout the week, I believe.
I don't think we've pushed it yet, but it
week.
is selling a lot already. It's good stuff. I mean, like I said, I think we've talked about this too. It's just like very great, straightforward basics. These are like your new go-tos for just like simple things.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
true to size. Go with the size you take from
perfect
Lady
for
White.
summer.
Shit's dope.
Great packaging, great brand.
Yep. Yesterday we received 5 or 6 boxes of engineered garments. So it's the delivery 1. We're shooting on a buddy today. Discord's very own Spaceman. So we're gonna shoot on him. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, the EG. Yeah, I just realized. Yeah.
Yep. We've got work
RL.
shirts. We've got FA pants. We've got the beanies, the watch caps that everybody loves. We've got more work shirts. That's where we're at.
There's a suit out there. And there's an Andover.
Oh yeah, the Andover and a loiter, Andover pants loiter. So anyway, EG's landed. That's sick. We got Northworks on the way. We got Double RL hit yesterday. We got some New Balance that has restocked, the 990 V6 in gray. What else is out there, bro? Is there anything else?
Doc Martens.
Oh, we got some Doc Martens.
Really
Those
cool,
are dope.
Really cool new style.
Yes.
From them that we loved. What else? I feel like we're still, I don't know. There's still like a couple more things that are outstanding, some like fill-in kind of things.
Yeah.
And so, stay tuned. Still more coming. But yeah, and I'm just got hit from 2 places that are ready to ship some fall. So we're starting to see that come in. So yeah. No rest for the wicked,
That's what they say.
Yeah. So check that out.
Yeah.
And what else? Is that it? Feeling good? You want to recommend something?
I want to recommend you watch Devs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to recommend if you go to Whole Foods, they've got these pretzels. What are they called?
While you look that up, I'll recommend something. I've gone really deep into I've told you my ambient phase.
Oh, yes.
Is like, I don't know why, but that's like the only music I'm listening to at all now. And I really love this record from Brian Eno, Apollo. I think if you're like trying to wade into those waters, it's kind of an interesting place to start. Kind of an older record ish, but like the sounds feel very fresh on it. It's really cool. It's a really good record. I've listened to it like a bunch of times. It's kind of like a good, like if you're sitting outside at night record too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
See, I have to admit, Brondo, while I know the name Brian Eno as a name,
Roxy Music is what he's.
I know nothing about. I've never heard or listened to any Brian Eno ever. And I know that
it surprised me that it hasn't come across your desk, but
it's one of those things where I just think I've somehow evaded it.
Well, you know, for as big of a Roxy Music fan as I am and have been for a long time, I will admit that I haven't gone into his solo work too much, especially not the ambient stuff. So it's
Roxy Music was his band?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of the members. So this is really interesting stuff, like very ahead of its time and really good. I really have liked it. So
cool.
I recommend that if you've never checked it out.
Yeah, no, check that out. The pretzels
are
from Unique Snacks. They're extra dark splits. Have you seen these? They're like extra dark pretzels. You know, like
I only know
the Cheez-Its that are extra toasted. Think that, but for pretzel. They're great.
Oh, interesting.
Really good.
Kinda
we like
burnt?
them with hummus and shit. Yeah, kind of burnt, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
Salty and shit. Really like them. So I recommend that. They're a little expensive, but you can get them from your Whole Foods. That's about it, buddy. I know we got a lot more work to do. We've got more stuff on the way. We have a little 1-2 here, which will be exciting when those...
We've got a couple little collaboration things, like smaller stuff and some merch things kind of happening right now. But then also we're going to be nearing the announcements for a couple of the collaborations that'll hit this year and into next.
Yeah, because right now I can think of 3 off the top that are straight up collabs. Plus some other little, like you said, merchy,
a little other
Canoe
1,
Club
2 kind of
esque things. So anyway, it's fun. We're very excited. We've been cruising, and we're about to hit that point where sale kind of wraps up.
Mm-hmm. Stuff comes
to an end, and we get all new shit. That being said, if you're hearing this Thursday, tomorrow, sale bumps to the next round, so to the public. So what is at 50 will go to 70, and what is at 30 goes to 50. Is there anything you're eyeing from the shit going to 70? I haven't done a hard look.
I'm too Harold pilled, man.
You're Harold pilled.
All the excess money, and I got to go through my clothes again to see if there's anything I'm looking to move along to make room and money for more Harold.
Hey, buddy,
I just want more Harold.
While we were talking yard sale, I was thinking there's things that I'm going to get rid of in my closet. There's things that I've been holding on to that I realize I'm not going to wear. One of which is, I'm very sad to say, I'm going to talk to Miss Shannon and get approval from her because sometimes she will talk me down off my ledge. You know that North Face Purple Label striped shirt I bought in Japan? It's just slightly too snug to where I don't feel comfortable in it. You might not think that it looks or feels snug to me if you were viewing me, but I feel it, and it's thwarted me from wearing it many times. So I'm thinking of throwing that up for sale. If you hear this and you want it, hit me up. I'll just sell it to you for what I bought in Japan, which was cheap. So I'm with you though. I'm Harold pilled. You said Harold's kind of ready, yeah? Or first
I'm working
ready?
with him. I'm working with him on the first
because we wanted to maybe.
I was trying to get more.
Yeah, we want to get more. Because I'm Harold pilled as well. I bought that jacket off Chris, the one that you're wearing today. It's fucking sick, dude. Shit's dope. I tried on a couple other pieces he has. So
yeah. So I've got that in my head now. So it's it's all towards that.
But man,
no, not right this second. But
you know what? Also, because this is the thing, bro. Because there's things that I want to use. I want to buy this season, and I need to do it strategically. Let me lay a couple of them out for you. Grizzly boots from Visvim are coming back. First time we've stocked them as a brand. Do I need them? You tell me. I'm asking. Do I need them?
Personally,
Yeah.
I think that they're super cool. They're classic. They're big and heavy.
Big and heavy. And when's the last time you saw me wear
up
a boot, bro?
the problem with you and big and heavy is that, to me, is that you wear
Big.
It's not just that. It's that proportionally the pants that you wear and the weight of most of the pants that you wear seems strange with a big heavy boot.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I mean, because I'm primarily wearing a Vans or a Birkenstock.
Yeah,
so then imagine doing the same
like,
kit with a fucking
like the heaviest
honker.
material I can even think that you wear is like the fatigue material.
Yeah, it is.
So that's kind of, I don't know why that feels light. It just feels like it's too light for that size of boot.
Yeah.
So it feels like if it would fuck me up. I personally.
I mean, this is why I asked.
If you were a
'cause I
big
go through
jeans
this.
guy, I'd be like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Those go together. It's easy to wear. They go with them. All they match with them. But this is gonna be like a darker. It's like a brown with some other color style. It feels like it's also gonna be really tonal against most of the green shit that you wear. I don't know. I would say maybe no. I don't remember the last time I've seen you wear a boot.
I don't wear boots, man, and because they're not comfortable. I have those Henry Scheme Tims, and I love them. I'm at the point where I might just lace those boys up and put them on a shelf in my office and just look at them. I think they're cool, you know? I'm just not a boot guy. Proportionally, you're right. They don't work with a lot of my pants. I like to have just a normal fucking not too chunky, not too slim. Just like I'm wearing those French Army trainers, Gats more or less, you know what I'm saying? And then a Vans or a Birkenstock, and those kind of work perfectly. So that's why I asked. I wanted to have that discussion because I'm unsure. That being said, we also have those fleeces coming from Coddle, you know?
It's interesting. It's just it doesn't seem like a piece that I see on you, but I mean, I think that's the other question. How willing are you to mix things up to make those two pieces work? That's how I look at pieces like that. Of like, am I willing to mix my shit up? I think
I would get a lot of wear out of one of those fleeces because the way that I dress now is more or less as I would dress year round, but I put the Visvim vest over top. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So maybe I would wear one of those pieces.
I think it would depend on how it fits you.
Yeah. So I'll try them on when they come in. There's Coddle.
I mean, those are beautiful.
There's Harrell.
They're super cool.
There's another brand which we haven't. Have we said? From Japan. Starts with an O. Not or slow. 2 words.
With an O?
Yeah. 2 words.
Oh yeah, I don't care. You can say
Ordinary Fits. We have Ordinary Fits coming from Japan. Yeah. That shit's fucking dope. I wanted something from them. There's also another Tiger. Anyway, I'm not sure, man. So this is the game that I'm playing.
Stressed out, huh?
Yeah, and who fucking cares, dude? You know what I mean?
I think you just gotta look at it when it comes in and then go from there.
Yeah.
You put it on your body and then you know.
I know I want something from Coddle or Harrell. And honestly, I want another Viz hoodie because I wear these every opportunity I have. Because luckily, it's usually like 45 degrees in the studio. So I gotta dress like winter in here.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's so dry here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got a lot of good stuff coming. I'm excited.
Okay, let's go because I'm keeping. Speaking of collabs, I'm keeping a couple. People,
oh shoot! Yeah, you got a meeting.
Couple folks waiting on me right now. So let's jump off this so I can go chat with them so we can get this figured out and released, and then these people can see it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Bye.